How's everyone doing today? Everyone good? Well, today is not going to be like a crazy like vocab expansion day. I actually wanted to like start the day off by talking about like the community and like our goals for the community and how we want to like go forward with all the classrooms. Sorry, I'm still inviting a couple people. Cool, hiding avatars actually helped a lot. Yeah, a lot of late joiners. But first I want to like thank you guys all for like giving Immersed the opportunity to help you guys learn. And I wanted to thank you guys for just being a part of this because as a lot of you guys know me, I've always been in communities that I've like really tried to work up from the like bottom, right? To having a lot of people like a lot of you guys have been here for me through like Melt with me, and even the old Immersed, which is cool. But now I feel like this is a new chance to really like give it our all and do it right this time. So I'm really excited to like to start this week with Akira. In the future, we're gonna have Craig teach as well, possibly Saturn. We're talking about like some really cool events coming or happening soon. So like like I said, thank you guys for coming. Today I want to talk a little bit about like introducing yourself to sign language. I know a lot of you guys are very good signers already. So this is going to be catered more towards those of you who are kind of starting like just recently in your like sign language journeys. And so today's going to be like focus primarily on that and a little bit of like vocabulary expansion just to help you along your way. So um, bear with me. I'm not like feeling the best right now, but I will. I'll continue to try. So I was in lag really quick. First, I wanted to say like a couple of things that I see a lot of people make mistakes with beginning sign languages. With your journey, like how to get somebody's attention, like proper etiquette, as well as just like I'm hoping everybody here has practiced fingerspelling already. If you haven't, that's fine. We will be doing like lessons with Akira this week on fingerspelling as well. Um, so stay tuned for that if you want to practice it. Also, we're going to be introducing like in Discord with like webcams. If you would like to use your webcam, you're more than welcome to. But Akira is going to be doing a class specifically in Discord for practicing IRL like signing, which is kind of cool. We haven't done that yet. And also like thank you Krevzz for like streaming everything. For those of you like who can't make it, that's cool. You guys can go back and rewatch the VODs of any of the future stuff, which is this is cool. So first of all, if you have questions and stuff like that, like I will stop and I'll ask everybody if you have a question or anything like that. But I do ask that like in the middle of it, like just try and like hold the questions until I ask. Because we'd have had issues in the past with people just like running up and interrupting things like that, and just so just a little politeness there. So there we go. Another invite. I'm losing my voice too. Oh fuck. Let's go. Um. All right. So first, I kind of wanted to talk about let's just like say the etiquette of sign language. So you want to come into the ASL world. You see a lot of people signing. You're intimidated. You don't know how to approach people, right? Well, in my opinion, the best way, and this is agreed upon along with a lot of the community, like the best way to learn is to just go up to people and try to have a conversation with people. I know, sometimes it can be scary, it can be intimidating, but like the best way for you to learn and the fastest way for you to learn is just go in, have a conversation with somebody. I know fingerspelling, it can be tedious, but you will build your vocabulary that way if you just continue doing that. Having conversations with people, find other people who are starting their sign language journeys like around the same time if you can, and you guys can work together and you guys can like show each other like very like cool signs that you guys are learning. And that was one of the ways that I learned very quickly was just like I found people, I approached people constantly that would want to sign with me, they would trade like signs. I created this little game where I would come up to people, be like, let's trade signs, right? I learned a very like cool sign today. My favorite sign is innocence. Innocence. So like show me like a cool sign that you learned today. And I guarantee you with that you will build your vocabulary pretty quickly. Also, I've found like pretty cool things that people have done. Like for example, Tavin he has a notebook of every single like word that he's learned throughout his journey. And I think that's a fantastic idea. And I think that like if a lot of you guys start doing things like that to try and remember, just review or every single day review which words you've learned, try and remember them, and just like have fun with it. Like don't overwhelm yourself with like 40 words per day. It's not going to work that way. You're not going to remember that much. My recommendation is 15. You know, 5 to 15 words per day is a very safe and comfy amount of like words that you can learn and remember and practice those words in conversation. Like that's very important. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is how to like start a conversation with somebody and how to do it politely. So say me and one of my friends we're signing together, we're in the middle of a deep conversation. You really need to get my attention. You want to talk, but of course I'm focused on the conversation. You don't want to come up to me or whoever you're trying to get like in contact with and just go like Pandalum, 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 like, fuck your conversation, let's just like, get in the middle of it, right? Like a lot of people don't understand that that can be very rude and that can be very like distracting in the conversation. Like me and my friend were talking about how, they had a bad day and they're in the middle of the conversation. You distract me in the middle of it, I'm gonna lose my place in it. I'm gonna forget what we are talking about, and it can become very stressful. So if you want to just like get somebody's attention, just usually like wait until after the person's finished at least, or until they can get your attention, and just give like a little hey. Like don't stick your hand in their face, just let it know that you're there. Stick it kind of in the peripheral vision, like hey, I can see your hand right there. Oh, nice. I'll get to you in 1 second. That's genuinely a pretty safe thing to do. But a lot of people they don't know that, which is fine. It's all learning journey together. So, you know, we gotta make mistakes in order to improve from them, right? So, all right. And the next sign, or the next sign, the next thing I'd like to talk about is like you need to always stop somebody when you don't understand a sign. Always stop somebody when you don't understand. Do not like fake understand a sign because that hinders your ability to learn. It hinders your ability to increase your vocabulary because and it also could like really upset the person you're signing with. It could confuse the person you're signing with. I make this point a lot, but like say, for example, I'm in a conversation with somebody and they're telling me about how their day was bad, their dog just passed away or something, it's just they're having a horrible day. And I'm fake understanding. I don't understand a thing they're fucking saying, but I'm like I don't want to look bad. I'm anxious, I don't want to seem like I'm dumb, which is not really a thing. If you don't know a sign, you're not dumb for not knowing the sign. You just haven't learned it, right? So a lot of the times people are going to be comfortable and happy with just like, oh, you don't understand? That's fine. I'll like finger spell that sign. A very important sign is like, stop, wait, what's that sign meaning? This is the sign for meaning. It's one of the most important signs that you can use. Or if you need to ask somebody to repeat the sentence, repeat the sign. You're taking your flat hand and you're pretty much jabbing the middle of your other hand. Sorry, I'm inviting somebody. Just like, hey, it's not rude to be like, hey, I don't understand your sign. Stop really quick. What's that sign mean? You know, and that'll help you build your vocabulary. If my controller would work. Vocabulary. It's a V hand on the thumb or on the index finger. That's vocabulary. So you wanna build that vocabulary. You're not, and also don't get stressed out if you feel like you're not learning as fast as you could, because everybody learns at their own speed. Everybody will learn in their own ways. There are things that benefit others more than than you, and vice versa. So don't get down on yourself, because I hear a lot of my students get down on themselves because, man, like I started at the same time this person did, and they're like they're better, or vice versa, Also, it could go both ways. Don't bully other people for learning slower, or for having to ask you to repeat the same sign again and again. It's very important that people feel comfortable having the ability to ask like somebody to repeat something. So we're all here to like learn and have a great time together. And we're on a video game after all, remember? So there's not a lot of video games that offer the ability to learn sign language, which is really cool. So let's just have fun together and make sure we remember that it's a game, you know, because this is something that I always stress on, from the very beginning when I started my first community, which was Let's Learn VR ASL a long time ago with Akira and people that I don't really talk to very much anymore. But like Akira and there's some other people that were there, and they witnessed people from other communities, very big communities, coming in and judging. And I want to stay away from that type of environment with Immersed. I want I'm not making this community because I want to be the anti helping hands. I'm not doing this with Gabby so we can fight other communities. I want to work together with other communities if possible to work towards the same goal, and that's the expansion of knowledge of sign language, like together, and also inspire people. Like we are going into other communities, other types of communities, role playing, streaming. A lot of like all different types of like life, pretty much drinking communities, even, which is kind of funny. But we do go into these other communities, and we show, hey, I go in with Mousy pretty often. We go into like a public lobby, and there's sign language. People are like, wow, that's actually pretty cool. Not everybody, of course, but a lot of people are like, that's pretty cool. And we can just inspire people, and then those people tell their friends, and then it just keeps going into like a domino effect. And so that's like, I think one of the biggest things that I want to use to set us apart from other communities is the fact that I see a lot of our members really working hard to help inspire other people, rather than just having classes and letting the like the videos that we have, or having the advertising ways that we already have just do it for us. We still have like people who are going in and trying to find people. A lot of the times people have said this to me. I go up to people that I don't know all the time in the ASL world and other worlds as well. And I'm just like, hey, would you like help with stuff? I can help you out with that. Like, you want to learn this lesson? I'll stop and I'll actually take the time out of my day to teach you this lesson correctly. You know, and I don't see that many other teachers, to be honest, doing that, and helpers and people who really care about the community and how everybody learns. So I want everybody to, like, I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you want to really contribute to the greater good of the sign community, just treat everybody good and help others out. You know, that's a very important thing. Also, I created the original Immersed. I created Melt with Me for the awareness of mental health, because I think that mental health is a very, very important thing that not a lot of people give enough like awareness to. There's so many different types of disorders and learning disabilities and things like, even stuff like depression, and I wanted to create a community for everybody to truly be able to just bond with each other, a family like environment where people can lean on each other, and not just sign language ways, but just in life, and just be able to make friends and truly experience something different than your typical communities. And so that's why we have a whole therapy section that of the Discord, that where people can go and they can find things to feel better about themselves, or post about their day if it was hard. There's going to be people there. So if you're having a bad day, I want you guys to feel comfortable enough to be able to reach out to somebody, and that's very important to me. And so back to sign language. So from now on, especially my next class, I'm going to be going over a lot of vocabulary expansion. We'll be reviewing lists, kind of similar to the way the other class is done, but there'll be one difference, is I will be explaining why each thing is the way it is, why each word is signed the way it is. Also, I want you guys to pair up in the middle of classes. And I'm going to be stopping in the middle after I'm done with like a list. I want you guys to pair up and I want you guys to practice your signs together. We'll have people that are helping walking around and making sure everybody's signing things correctly. Not like getting on your ass, but like, if you're signing something incorrectly, then they'll be like, hey, no, this is it right here, because I know that sometimes I can go fast. And so, and then also the incorporation of games. Um, right now we don't have too many like games that we've had available to the classrooms. We have a game that one of my old friends made named Offhand that we can use. But at the end of each day, I want everybody to play like a sign related game together to kind of help you like practice random skills in sign language as well. But if you guys have any ideas for sign language games, especially, then feel free to like DM me and any of the other staff, and I think that would be really cool to continue doing. Also, like other sign related events too, like nights where we have like mute nights where everybody mutes for like an hour or two, joins together and practices together, like communication through only sign, like just a bunch of things that are pretty much like that I think would be really cool. And if you guys have like any suggestions on that, then I'm all ears. You can always DM me. So give me one like moment while my computer and all that was like crashing. Um, I need to get my list back really quick because I want to go over just maybe 10 to 15 different like useful things to learn at the beginning. Especially if you need to just ask somebody to repeat your question and things like that. Like I said, again, was one of them. So I also want to, I guess I can start with this. So the sign for sign, right? There's two different ways you can sign like the actual word sign. So I always recommend that people sign like this, like with diagonal fingers and going towards you. Because in VR chat, it's extremely easy for people to, when they sign like this, it looks very similar to the sign for win. So the sign for win is this, right? So you start at the top of your finger and you go around. But people sign win like this, and in the middle of a conversation, that can get really confusing. So I sign like this, and also like websites, like credible websites like LifePrint recommend the same thing. So sign language, right? So sign language. Another way to sign in real life, this is used, but not really so much in game because it's kind of easily conflicted with other signs. But sign, this is a sign for sign as well, but you will rarely see this in game. But it's important to know in case you come across it. So sign language. Sign language. Very cool. Very cool. Sign slow. Slow. A sign for slow. It's very important. If somebody's going really fast, sign slow. Please. I'm new. I'm new. That's going to be something you're going to sign a lot early on. Sign slow. Because, once again, never fake understand. Always stop somebody if you don't understand and ask them the meaning of a sign. Sign slow, please. I'm new. I'm a student. I'm a learn person. So the sign for learn, you're taking it out of your hand and you're putting it in your brain. And then the sign for person is just this. Some people use P's for their person. That's fine. But generally this is good too. So I'm a learn person. I am a teacher. Teach person. Teach, you're taking the knowledge, you're pulling it out, you're presenting it to everybody else. Fun fact, teach is actually a directional sign as well. Teach me. Not a lot of people know that. So teach me. You're taking the knowledge from somebody else, you're putting it into your brain. So I'm teaching you all about sign. So teacher, person, teach, person. In real life, it would be done with flat O's, which is I'm not able to do with this avatar correctly yet, but in the future I hope to have my mod fixed. But um, if somebody in the room has flat O's, like you can ask them in the future, hey, what does it actually look like to do teacher? If not, you can look it up on like LifePrint. Checking and verifying your signs is extremely important, especially if you learn something. Say you went to the ASL world, you're not really sure how well somebody is at signing, but they show you the sign for like, for example, I don't know, cool. They show you the sign for cool, but you're not sure. You're like, you know what? I should still verify to see if that's actually signed correctly. You know, a quick Google search. I type in something like ASL sign for cool. You know, and the three main websites that I use, primarily LifePrint and Sign Savvy, but then my last resort's always Handspeak. Handspeak is kind of an older website. It's an older website with a little bit more of outdated signs, so that's why I always go to LifePrint and Sign Savvy beforehand. But if there's not a sign for it and Handspeak's the only one that has an option, then I usually use that as well. So, like those websites are, they should be available in the Discord. If not, I will post them in the Discord. And it's just very, very important to always verify, because there are people who go around and they'll show the wrong sign, and then that kind of screws up a lot of stuff, because we have a complicated language already, right? It doesn't feel that complicated sometimes because all we're doing is relearning the same language, but with our hands, right? We're a lot of us already know English, you know, and so all it is PSE or SEE is pretty much very identical to the way we use English, especially SEE. It's signed exact English. So a lot of people will use words like the, filler words like the, to, you know, that's fine. SEE is completely normal. Are people crashing or just leaving? It's whatever. I primarily use PSE, which is Pigeon Signed English, which in sign language we have the ability to remove those filler words like the and some like to, and it turns into a sentence more formed like, so I go to the store. You know, you're combining words together. I go to the store. I need buy chicken. I need to buy cookies. You know, you're not saying like I need to, you know, buy. You know, you're taking out some filler words like the, and my mind is going blank right now. But there's some other ones that are stressful too. But PSE is what I recommend everybody learning at the beginning, especially when we do grammar classes on PSE and ASL. You learn PSE at the beginning, you get used to signing, and then you eventually, if you would like to, you can change to ASL grammar, and you can start practicing that. I think that's very important for you to get used to sign language in the beginning, though. So, because communicating with your hands is very different. Also, there's something you can practice. If you're muted, it's definitely easier to practice this, but it's called SIMCOM, simultaneous communication. So signing and speaking at the same time. A lot of people are very like scared of this because it does seem hard at the beginning, but the more you practice, especially if you have your mic muted, you can sit there and talk while you're signing. It's actually very important to learn this, especially if you want to bring this into real life, because if somebody's deaf and they see that you're signing, if they get lost or they get distracted, a lot of the times they lip read and they look at your facial expressions, but lip reading is a very big thing. So being able to talk and sign at the same time, if you're trying to go into especially the interpreting field, be very useful. You know, you're going to be using that a lot if you're looking to interpret. But if not, you know, it's fine. It's not necessarily required. I just would recommend trying it out just to get used to it. So, the next thing I want to learn, like talk about, let me look at my list really quick. Um, yeah, time's going by quick too. And the lag has stopped a little bit. Actually, I want to take a second to ask you. You guys have any like questions so far of what we talked about? Because if you do, you can like step up here, and then I'll take questions. But if not, that's fine. We continue. I'm not gonna do any games today because we're not really focused on vocabulary. Um, I'm gonna do games on Wednesday, and Akira will probably do games on Tuesday. I haven't talked to her about it really, but I will like double check with her. Or that's at Thursday. Sorry, Thursday. Yikes, Tuesday. So Tuesday, Akira, and Wednesday is me, and then Thursday is Akira and Discord. So if you don't have any questions, it's fine. So moving forward, like I said, do not like hesitate to like go up to people, especially like any of the sign helpers that are in the community, like me, Mousy, Tavin. You know, a lot of people here. If you see their name, especially in the community helping staff, like and you see them in the world, you know, I think most of the time they're there to help people. So don't feel like you're burdening anybody if you need to ask a question, but just remember it's like polite to always ask or wait until they're finished with their conversation or make sure they're not busy. So I keep losing that list of one sec. I need to organize stuff on my computer. Yikes. Sorry, one sec, guys. Cool. Okay. So I want to go through a couple of very important signs for very beginners, like the sign for yes. Imagine like a head nodding. The sign for yes, and the sign for no. This is a sign for no. So yes, no, maybe. If you've done daily use on the board, you should know these. The sign for no. If you can do it with an index, it's 3 fingers. You're pinching them together in real life. Obviously, it doesn't look like that in the game. You do like this, but if you don't have an index, that's fine. Close it down. The sign for know and don't know. So, the knowledge is in your brain already. But if you don't know, you don't know. You don't know. So, know and don't know. Two important signs. Sign for important, right? Two F hands. Important. That's kind of a more advanced one. The sign for understand, and if you don't understand. So, I signed it earlier, but I didn't emphasize it. So, the sign for understand is like a light bulb going off in your head. So, if you understand, you do this. If you don't understand, the only difference is you're shaking your head. So I understand, I don't understand. So if you, once again, don't understand, stop and ask. I understand. I don't understand. Again, do you guys remember the sign for meaning that I showed you earlier? So open palm, peace hand, 2 times. Meaning. Meaning. That word's meaning is what? What? Let's see. The signs for thank you and how to respond for thank you, because a lot of people use that incorrectly in VR as well. So I want to show that correctly today. So the sign for thank you. Thank you. But how to respond to thank you if somebody says thank you. A lot of people in VR use this. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's technically wrong. You don't use the sign for welcome is a response to thank you. That technically means welcome to my home or welcome back, you know? So it's like you're welcoming somebody. Welcome to my class. If you want to respond to thank you, there's a few different ways. My favorite way, my preferred sign is of course. Take two fingers, tap your wrist. It's like a sign for time, but with two fingers. Of course. All right, it's fine. You know, also another way that you can sign thank you or respond to thank you is actually with thank you. People in real life do this. People sign thank you back. And that is fine. That is a good way to respond. But my preferred way is of course. You can kind of give your own personality to that as long as people understand. You will see people use welcome in VR as a response to it. I'm not telling you should go jump on people's cases and be like, that's wrong, and, fight people because they're using it. But it's technically not the correct way to use it. So, but if somebody uses it, at least you'll know. Okay, cool. Again, the sign for please. I signed it earlier when I was signing please sign slow. You're going up your arm. So please, very important. Please sign slow. Going up your forearm, not your wrist, your forearm. Make sure your palm is facing down, and go up slow. Sign slow. Sign please, like slow. It's I can't understand that if you're signing too fast. I'm big dumb. So let's go. I also wasn't really sure if I wanted to talk about like finger spelling tips today because I'm not 100% if like Akira is going to be like really covering that, but I can cover this at least. So when you're finger spelling, you want to make sure that you're staying in the same general area, whether you're right-handed or left-handed. I'm right-handed, so I stay like this: A, B, C, D. I keep my palm facing forward for a majority of the letters. A few of them you have to make exceptions for. C is an exception because it's easier to tell what a C is in real life, and it's easier to tell a C in real life than it is in game if you're doing it with your palm facing towards the person. But technically, that would be the correct way to do it. But in VR, C is fine, like this. Palm orientation is very important, and also the how like fast you finger spell does not matter most of the time. You will get better over time at finger spelling quickly and being cleaner. The most important thing is clarity when you're trying to sign. You're not in a race. I mean, maybe sometimes you'll be in a hurry when you're trying to sign, but it's more important that you sign at a reasonable pace that you're like able to sign at without having to repeat or mess up because like I said, it's not really a race. It's not a contest so you can sign faster. We're not fighting. So say like if I need to sign something, it's better to try and just make it more clear and take it at a pace that just makes it to where you won't have to like to stress out as much. If you mess up, you won't have to repeat. You won't have to you'll have a better chance of the person understanding you. So, and then over time, as you gain more experience, you'll become a lot quicker and as well as clean while you're doing it. So now we started about 35 minutes ago. We've been here for about 40, probably about an hour actually. I know we didn't really cover too much today. I just wanted to use this day as more of an introduction and thank you guys for like joining the community. Tomorrow we will actually start getting into learning, and we'll actually get into like vocabulary. But once again, like thank you guys all for coming. I'm gonna go ahead and say that like, I want to take this time if you guys are willing to stay. If you can't, that's okay. But like to get to meet each other, there's a lot of people here. I'm sure some of you guys don't know each other. There's a lot of really cool people here. So like take time to socialize with each other, practice a little bit, ask people, how about their day. Well, there's a lot you guys can learn together. There's a lot of really, really advanced signers here too that have a lot of knowledge. So I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna meet everybody that I haven't really got to formally meet. And if you guys have questions, I'll be here. But once again, thank you guys all for coming. Thank you guys for being a part of Immersed. The sign for Immersed is this. It's Y hands over the heart. It's something that me and Urchin and a few of us have thought about, and it looks cool. So the sign for Immersed. I'm in Immersed. Immersed is my favorite community. That's just it's just a cool little thing. Oh my Y hand's messed up. But yeah, technically you guys are free to leave if you guys want to. But thank you guys for coming. And tomorrow, Akira will be here teaching at the. Is she at the same time? I didn't actually see. Let's see. The schedule is in the Discord. But it'll be around the same time, I believe. If anything, I think it might be an hour later. Let's see, class schedule. Let's see, Akira will be at 9. Yeah, it'll be an hour later, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And she will be going over her own vocabulary. So just more vocabulary for everybody. Thank you again for Unknown Krevzz for streaming. He's dedicating his time to come and stream the classes so everybody can go and review VODs if you missed anything. And that's also if you're not able to make it, then you can go and watch the stream. So that's very nice of him. We're going to be doing YouTube videos as well in the future. And we're going to be posting things like that. So people can have their chances to review. So alrighty, thank you guys.